So guys, I'm 16 hours into New World. I'm level 16 as well, I guess. But I could have been a bit higher than that. But, you know, you're learning a new MMO. There's a lot of shit going down homes that you've got to kind of suss out. So, yeah, I've done a bit of everything in this. I've done a bit of PvP, sampled pretty much every aspect of the crafting. I've joined a company, which are pretty much guilds in this. I've assaulted a fort. Our faction's taken over a zone. Done tons and tons of quests. So I'm in a pretty damn good position to give you my verdict on the beta of New World. Now, bear in mind, guys, that the game comes out on the 31st of August. That's not enough time to do any kind of major changes to what I've played. So pretty much this is very close to the actual launch version of the game, and that's a huge problem in my opinion. So let's get on with it. Let's go through the things that I think need saying about this game. The first thing is it has excellent options and excellent HUD options as well. You can turn loads of stuff off, you can tweak shit, you can do whatever you want, rebind all your keys. Absolutely fantastic. Loads and loads of options which you want in any big game. Now the graphics in this game I think look really good for an MMO. Bear in mind an MMO is a massive multiplayer online game. You're going to have hundreds of people. This is a proper MMO, not like games that say, oh yeah, it's an MMO. Oh wow, how many players? Oh, 20. Yeah, that's not a fucking MMO. This is an MMO, and there are literally hundreds of players around the world that you bump into. So you're going to have to normally have the graphics turned down that little bit, but in this it looks really good. In fact, it's the best looking MMO that I've played. Yeah, this looks good. It looks really nice, especially in the forests. Really good looking MMO. It runs fine for me as well. I mean, I have capped it at 60 frames a second because of all the problems that's been going on with the heating up cards. I didn't take any chances. I just capped it at 60 frames a second and never had any problems whatsoever playing it on a 2080. Some people were complaining in the chat that in the towns it was slowing down because you were having a lot of people in there. But I never experienced any of that. It was running fine all the time for me. So let's get down to the actual gameplay. You start off on the shore, you're washed up on a shore, and you find this guy sitting there and you do a quest for him, and basically it kind of tells you that it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world, guys. The world is called and there's 3 factions in this world. There's the Stumpunch, who are purple. There's the greens, who are the Stuffen Bellens, and the yellow, I think it's the yellow faction, who are called the Eontes. I made all them names up because I can't remember them. After you get to level 8, you kind of are asked to join one of the factions. I don't know a hell of a lot about the factions other than you get faction quests. Now, the quests give you faction rep, and you know you have to go out and do a lot of fighting, which you know can get a bit heavy, like, and a bit hot. So you get a bit of heat, but heat equals rep, and if you get enough rep, you can bank it and buy some good gear with that. So heat equals rep equals bank. All right.
The more heat you get, the more rep you get rep, you get heat. Heat equals rep equals heat equals rep. As long as you've got bank, if you've got bank.
Back, there's no cops in it. Shut up. Now, to make it a bit more interesting in the faction things, you can take over zones in this, your faction. And if you do that, you get lots of buffs in that zone. You can craft better gear. You have a bit more luck at getting things as well. So it's well worth doing this. And I can imagine as the game unfolds over 50-60 hours, you're going to have lots of different areas controlled by different factions and wars going on between it. That all sounds great. Unfortunately, guys, the combat is so awful in this game, it doesn't interest me at all. You see, they've done away with the usual MMO kind of combat that most MMOs go with, which has been tried, tested, and works. And what they've done is they've added this combat that's more like just like a third-person sword fencing game with bad animations that are locked. You can't cancel an animation. So a lot of the times when you're fighting, you're fighting mid-air as you miss, and somebody. In fact, I haven't got a recording of this, but it was so funny. Two people went to fight each other, and they both missed and just hit mid-air with their swords. And they couldn't stop that move because they'd already committed to it, and the animation wouldn't stop. It's awful, guys. And to make it worse with the combat, and this is my biggest gripe with the game by far, there's no way you can interrupt the enemy at all. Like, you just can't do that. But I can't find a way of doing it. You only get about 6 or 8 moves. What you have is different weapons that you can master, and you can unlock, I think, 3 moves or so with each weapon. But you can only equip 2 weapons at a time, so you're kind of limited to, I don't know, maybe 6 abilities when you're fighting. 6 abilities, guys. Just to put that into perspective. That's like retail World of Warcraft now, and that's an awful game. But if you go back to WoW Vanilla WoW, or when it was in the Burning Crusade, if you were playing, say, a mage, you would have almost 20 different abilities. You had shit tons. They weren't all offensive, but you had lots of other things that you could do, like buff, debuff, and things like that. There's nothing like that in this game. There's no way to stun the enemy. There's no way to parry the enemy. You can't once you've got something in your face, it's in your face. You've got nothing to kind of snare them to get your distance if you're a caster or something like that. It's just garbage. There's no other word. It's crap, guys. The combat's just crap. It really, really is. It needs totally redoing, in my opinion. You should have tons more abilities so that you can actually feel that you're in free-flowing combat. Because in this, you're just freaking hitting a bit over there. Oh, he's moved over there. Oh, I'm still fighting over here, but he's over there. It's crap. It really is crap. It's also not very good to play with friends. Me and my girlfriend both joined the same server at the same time. I was at the north end, and she was at the south end. She had to run through high-level areas to get to me. It was ridiculous. And then when we did team up and we were in the same place and we joined the same faction, we went to the faction board so that we could get the same quests. And I was given a completely different set of quests to what she was. So we couldn't even fucking quest together. It's part of the same faction, the same level. You know, it's just crap. And it's hard to see each other as well when you actually teamed up. It's just... Man, what were they thinking? And the world has no mounts. There's no that you can fast travel, but why would you want to fast travel in this world? The world looks brilliant. You should be riding around on something, but you've got to walk everywhere, guys. Everywhere. And do you know what? The quests are so awful. I mean, it should be called New World of Turkeys, guys. Just constant. There's turkeys everywhere, and you got to go and kill 10 turkeys. Okay, done that. What now? Go and kill 10 pigs. Then 10 goats, then 10 pumas. Then 10 more turkeys. And they're just to build up the rewards for the different towns. If you're doing the main set of quests, go to Olson's farm. On Olson's farm, kill all the zombie kind of people there and loot 5 chests. So you do that, you come back, you hand in, go back to Olson's farm and kill this guy and loot 2 more chests. Go back to Olson's farm and pick up 4 ears of corn from the field. You reuse the same areas you're just running backwards and forwards, and sometimes you have to run a long way to get there. No mounts, it takes forever. You can fast travel, but what's the point? The world looks great, you don't want to be fast traveling, but you end up having to do it, or you'll be there all bloody day. Now the crafting is good. The crafting, I do like the crafting. And I especially like when you are crafting weapons, because you can add things to the ingredients to give that weapon stats. So, for example, you can add certain things to give it a bit of strength and a bit of constitution, which is health. And this is how you, as a player, are. There's no classes in this game. You just put attributes into strength, dexterity, constitution, intellect, and things like that, which actually mold your character. So, for example, if you wanted to make a tanky character, you'd put a shit ton into constitution, so he has a lot of health, and a lot of stuff into strength as well, because he'll be using melee weapons. I love that. Unfortunately, it's awful if you want to be a magic class. There is no kind of mage. You can be like a battle mage, I guess, but It's so awful, I didn't see the point of actually doing it. Everybody seems to be a melee with either a musket or a bow and arrow, and that is the way that it really is. And so you see nearly everybody looking the same, which is a shame. They're all pretty much the same class. Now, there's a lot I haven't experienced in the game. There's dungeons I haven't experienced, the battlegrounds. So, you know, it may not be quite as bad as what I'm saying, but whether or not I'll give it a full-on review, I don't know. I'm probably going to refund my copy and never touch this game again. That's the way I feel about it, because I found it absolutely boring. Could have been great. It's got a great world, good idea, but the classes need rework and the combat needs reworking, in my opinion, and we need some form of travelling around, and you need way more abilities, because it's just boring. So there you go, guys. That's my initial impression. That's all this is. It's not a review. It's an initial impression after 16 hours in the closed beta of New World. I'm very disappointed because I wanted this to be good. I would love a good MMO that's not carrying a subscription. This isn't it.